Welcome, Buckeye Nation, to another live Monday night call-in edition of the OHIO podcast. I am your host, the Wildman, Chris Wilds. And hey, the OHIO podcast is, of course, the official podcast of Scarlet and Game and Fansided. Hop on over to scarletandgame.com where you can catch out articles written by several tremendous journalists, including our own Eric Buckeye Boggs. Also, we are proud to be part of the College Huddle, where the best fan-driven podcasts in America gather together every week to bring the heat. We are up to over 80 podcasts now on the College Huddle, and you can catch every team from around the nation. Now, before we dive into tonight's show, do me a quick favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And hey, ring that bell so you're the first to know when we drop new content. Also, whether it's a hot take, recruiting news, or just good old-fashioned Buckeye banner, you want to make sure you don't miss that. Also, if you love what we do here, go ahead and take it to the next level. Consider joining and becoming an official member of the OHIO Podcast Pod Squad. It's only $3.99 a month. That's right, for less than the price of a Happy Meal, you can get yourself a free t-shirt after your first month of membership, free online access to our Big 10 Preview magazine, free shipping from the OHIO Podcast Store, and exclusive behind the paywall content, including our official rankings of committed Buckeye recruits. You're not going to find that anywhere else except here at the OHIO Podcast. And hey, another great way to support our show and get some awareness out is to consider dropping us. Yeah. You know, I'm not near as good as our buddy Eric, so I look for the colors a lot of times when it pops up there. Eric can check out that chat as fast as anything, but myself, I'm a little slower. So if you want to get something out there, make sure it gets recognized. Go ahead and drop us a super chat if you think about it. It's a great way to help the show, keep the lights on. You know, it costs about $30 every time we do one of these call-in shows, and that helps support us and keep the platform going. The platform that we provide to you as a voice of the fans. All right, Buckeyes, let's jump into it. June 6th, right around the corner. Also, we're only about 92 days until your reigning, defending, undisputed NCAA National Football Champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, face off against Texas to open the 2025 season. So let me know, what's on your mind tonight, guys? Are we going to talk about win totals? I don't know if you've heard, but CBS Sports came out, joined the party. The likes of ESPN, SI, On3, all who have predicted the Buckeyes at 10.5 wins this season. Is that something you want to talk about? Are you buying the over? Are you taking the under? How many wins do you think the Buckeyes are going to get this season? We can talk it by schedule. Maybe you want to talk about the roster this year. The 2025 roster, man, I think it's a lot more talented, a lot underrated than what people are telling you. Maybe you want to dive into that. Maybe you want to talk a little recruiting. Maybe you want to talk about that 2026 class that's starting to come together. Or maybe you just want to call in, take some shots at the scum loserines and their offseason full of excuses, delusions, and woe. Whatever's on your mind tonight, bring it on. The phone lines are open. So let's go to it. We're going to take our first call tonight. And let's see, it is from the 330. It is, it looks like our man Tyler is going to be the first caller up tonight. Tyler, are you there, my man?
Yes, I am, Chris.
All right. What is on your mind tonight, sir?
So, first of all, Chris, have you checked Twitter? Are you big on Twitter?
I go on Twitter. I'm not a huge Twitter person. I'm still trying to figure it out a little bit. Tyler, I'm telling you, my man, I'm still trying to find my MySpace account.
Okay. Well, apparently, Michigan fans are back to what they're doing best, stealing. So they apparently stolen Buckeye Scoop, and now they made Wolverine Scoop.
Well, you know, it's what they do.
the thing is about this Wolverine scoop guy, Chris, Steely Matt took screenshots of said account, and he was and this Wolverine scoop guy was talking about Dwayne Haskins' car crash, Parnell Tate and his mom getting murdered, and Ryan Day's dad committed suicide and posted it on the internet.
Yeah, that. You know, we are. Let's call it. We're a fan base who likes to trash talk a little, but we base our things in truth and logic typically. But you know, Tyler, this is the thing. When you start reaching to that level, when you start sinking to that level and talking about deceased players, when you start talking about the family of coaches, when you start making up rumors about untimely deaths of players or their families, uh, that's not journalism. That's not commentary. That is just outright disgusting behavior. It's not even human behavior. It's just sickening. And honestly, I've got no time for it. But go ahead with your thought.
So when I saw that, I was like, "This, I'm gonna post it on Twitter." And guess what? Come to find out today, Twitter suspends my account for exposing said person, Chris. And so I'm like, "This, what did I do? I'm just speaking the truth on this guy and how much of an awful person he is." So that's like saying to me, that's like saying I'm making fun of I don't know. That's like me making fun of all those victims of Matt Weiss from Matt Weiss. It's messed up.
Yeah, it's sickening behavior, Tyler. I mean, what's sad is this is the type of behavior we've come to expect from this fan base, from this media associated with this school. Obviously, it is a program, it is a fan base, completely devoid of any kind of moral or ethical conscience. Um, these are people who are out there defending the actions of Matt Weiss. These are the people who are out there defending the actions of, not just defending, but applauding the actions of Connor Stallions and the way he cheated the game of football, the way he disgraced the game of football. These are people who are out there, cheering on and praising Jim Harbaugh for what his part was in all this. Um, I can just say that, as disgusting as it is, I'm not surprised at all by the actions of this fan base at this point.
So here's my other thing I wanted to bring up. And here's another thing I want to bring up too. So I know how Eric said when the punishment does happen, I'm going to say when, because it will happen, they'll bring out the victim cards.
They will.
But here's my problem. I think they're too ignorant to actually use a victim card.
Oh, I disagree, Tyler. That's what they're better at. The only thing they're better at than playing the victim is, I would say, playing the bad guy. And that's not even something they're playing. That's what their program is. They are not pretending to be a program devoid of all conscience. They are a program devoid of all conscience. And when they get nailed down, they're going to cry about it. They're going to say the NCAA overreach. They're going to say that they don't have, the NCAA can't do this. They're going to talk about how they're a blue blood program, despite the fact they haven't won an outright legitimate title since, basically the end of World War II. They're going to talk about all their championships, which were won before face masks were put on helmets. They're going to talk about how they have the most wins in college football history. Well, congratulations. You are going to get the chance to win 1,000 games twice. That's something that you can hang your hat on. But, and they're going to say that the NCAA, that the Big Ten, that Ohio State specifically is all picking on them because that's what they do. They cry, they play the victim. And they will go on the attack and try to deny and deflect because that, again, is what they do.
So then I got another question. This is more of a question that. So after June 6th and June 7th, and they do get the punishment, and they start playing the victim card, and they lose everything. What will be the funniest excuse you will hear from them?
I don't know if there's going to be anything that is funny. There's going to be some things that they're going to say that are, of course, ridiculous. They're going to talk about how the cheating didn't matter that much. That's going to be their go-to excuse. Well, if you had the chance to tune in and watch us last night, we had Alan DeGraffenreid, former Buckeye, of course, as our special guest. And Alan came right out and he called it out. You know what? If you're playing defensive line and you know that you don't have to worry about the run, you can just pin your ears back and go after a quarterback because you know that play. That gives you a competitive advantage. If you know the play and you know that they are going to run, you can stand up, you can cheat the gaps, and you can be there to make the play as it happens. Don't tell me it didn't have a competitive advantage. That's their fallback right now, is it didn't have that much of a competitive advantage. It shouldn't really matter. Bull. Absolute bull. If it didn't have a competitive advantage, you wouldn't have cheated to begin with.
Yeah, and here's the other crazy part, too, that I find very interesting that no one's talking about. So, if the roles were reversed and Ohio State was the one that was doing all the cheating, Michigan fans would be, asking, would be making us the dirtiest program in the entire country because a couple months ago you had that interview with that guy on that worked for ESPN, Chris.
Miles.
And how he said that most of those people that work high up in ESPN were graduates of Michigan.
Yes.
How many of them would push this narrative that Ohio State's the worst program of all time?
Here's the thing, Tyler. They would absolutely push that narrative. But can I tell you, honestly, right up front, they wouldn't have to. Because if this happened at Ohio State fans would push that narrative. Yeah. Ohio State fans would be calling for heads. Ohio State fans would want to see coaches fired. They would want to see penalties given. They would want to see consequence because there is no excuse for cheating the game, for cheating the rivalry, for cheating these kids who, let's call it what it is. You have, I don't know whether you want to say given a false sense of security to some of these kids who have now been pushed off to the NFL and are going to be completely broken when they come to find out they can't play without Connor's magic sheet. You're going to have GMs fired. We've seen coaches fired. already here in at the collegiate level over this scandal. And, you know, so far, Michigan has really suffered no consequence. And
why do you think that is?
I think that this is just so massive, so expansive. This scandal is so just everywhere that they are taking their time to make sure they get it right, not giving them an excuse, not doing anything that might be perceived as a violation of the NCAA bylaws where Michigan could take it to court and challenge it. And the second thing is, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that they are having to offset what they are doing against what the FBI is doing in the Matt Weiss investigation. Because I think you're going to find, and this is speculation. Let me preface this by this. This is speculation. I've heard rumor, but it's speculation that there's some overlap between the cases.
I guarantee you there is.
And with that being the case, you've got to let the criminal portion of it play out unless you have enough. And clearly the NCAA thinks at this point they have enough to move forward. So I think that's why it's taken so long, why we haven't really seen any major consequence out of it to this point. But I look for, what is it, 2 weeks from now? Well, 3 weeks from now, I guess, roughly. I look for a bunch of very happy Buckeye fans and a bunch of very upset Scum fans. Because I'm telling you, this isn't it's no Fisher Price hammer. There's not going to be a Fisher Price hammer. This is going to be, and TG has said it. She convinced me, and I agree with her 100% at this point. This is the most, I get the ugliest scandal, maybe not just in college football history, but in all of sports history. Just because of the scope of it. What's that?
And that's all because they could not beat Ohio State outright for 20 plus years. How embarrassing is that, Chris?
Here's the thing. As embarrassing as it is, and it is embarrassing to lose to your rival for the better part of 2 decades. It is. But you know what? At least I could, when they were doing it the honorable way, I could say, I respect them. I respect the rivalry. Right now, I can't say that, and it really bothers me. It bothers me to not be able to say that I have that respect for the rivalry anymore.
Why does it bother you?
What's that?
Why does it bother you?
Because it was the greatest rivalry in all of sports. And I think what they did tarnished it, took the shine off that rivalry. And I don't know if it'll ever get back to where it was. I mean, this was the game that it didn't matter if you were an Ohio State fan, a Michigan fan, a Big Ten fan. When this rivalry was played, if you were a college football fan, you watched.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was that big of a game. And I just don't know that it has that feel anymore. Michigan has done. But that's just me.
I completely agree. And that's all I got to say, Chris. I'm being in the chat.
All right. Oh, go Bucks. Hey, Tyler, thanks for the call. All right, we got a couple in queue. We got a couple lines open for you. Numbers scrolling across the bottom of the screen, so make sure you get that call in. Next call coming in from the 931. All right, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh man, let me tell you, I'm feeling good. You know, as somebody who is, a teacher, I am 2 days out from the end of the school year, and I'm feeling good about life. You know, we in just 92 short days get to watch, as I said before, the reigning, defending, undisputed national champions take the field one more time and try to go out there and run it back. And there's a lot of new faces and new places, but I'm telling you what, I feel very good about this team and what they can accomplish by the end of the year. So, hey, life is great right now. So, what's on your mind?
Um, I just I'm feeling pretty good about our chances this coming season. I've told you that before. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be better than what I think a lot of people maybe think. I think we go up to Ann Arbor, that giant dumpster fire up there, and hang a bunch of points on them.
Who knows if
And
they'll even have enough guys to field a team by the time this is all said and done with after next month.
I tell you what, after next month, you won't be able to deny the smoke that you're seeing, that they're seeing from the fire towers, that we've been seeing from the fire towers for like 18 months now. They're not going to be able to deny that. Scum is a dumpster fire heading towards a gasoline plant.
Ooh.
And it is going to be absolutely glorious.
Yes, it will.
I find it ironic also that their hearing is on June 6th
and 7th, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anybody that's not a historian, that was D-Day, folks. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. All right. It's going to be really ugly for them. And like you said, they're going to cry that they are the victims. They've been setting it up for 18 months, that they're the victims. They've been setting it up. Don't get it twisted, folks. That's what they're going to do, because that's who they are.
Absolutely.
That's who they are. They're going to play the victim and let them play the victim and waller in their freaking sorrow, because it isn't going to help them. All it will do is make things worse. And the next 25 years are going to look like basically the last 20. It's going to be ugly for them. And when there's a show cause, I don't see how Sharon Moore gets anything less than a 1-year show cause.
So
I don't see how he gets anything less than that.
I agree with you.
I would imagine it's going to be a couple of years.
Well, here's my question. I think he gets at least 1 year. And if he does get a year, does he ever coach at Michigan again?
No.
You think they just cut bait? Yeah. I'm kind of with you. I kind of feel that same way. I think that this is going to get a lot uglier than Michigan is going to want it to get. And like I said, I really feel like the fact that the NCAA has taken so long on this means that I really believe they've gotten this right. They know exactly what they need to do, exactly how they need to do it. They're going to go in. They're not going to make a mistake. It's going to be cold. It's going to be calculated. It's going to be brutal. And they are going to make this as ironclad a case as possible, to where the scum up north can't even really fight it in court. I think Michigan knows this. I think this is why they started to cower, why they've been trying to negotiate again, why they went out and got a arbitration lawyer instead of a litigation lawyer a few months back, to try to start the process again, they know how ugly this is, and it's just snowballing. It's just getting bigger and bigger. So I'm with you. I think that this is an absolute devastating blow to the program. But
I agree.
yeah,
But honestly, I don't think that they have taken as much time as everybody thinks they have. It just feels like it because we're waiting. It's like watching a watch clock.
well, I would say this too, and I don't know if you heard me mention it with Tyler. I think a lot of the waiting is due to having to allow the legal end of it to run its course as well before they can release information that maybe was obtained during the Matt Wiesen investigation as well.
I agree. And if you remember, one of my very first calls into the show was with you, and you asked the question: was Michigan going to get the hammer?
Yeah.
Or were they going to get the death penalty? And if you remember what I told you then, I said yes, but not like you think it's going to. It's not going to be the old school SMU style death penalty
where you have to sit out for a year or two. Yeah.
There's so much stuff here. This is going to take years. Know this. There's at least two investigations waiting in the wings that are FBI. The FBI has to finish with two of these investigations that will be coming down the road. And before they can get done with what's going to happen on D-Day, these other ones are going to hit. These other ones are going to hit. And how... plus, they've got billions of dollars worth of lawsuits coming from the Matt Weiss thing.
Oh, absolutely.
What exactly? And here's something we know so little information on, and this is going to be massive. Just go look. I don't care what sport you want to look at. Go back and look at it. All right, gambling.
Yes.
This is absolutely verboten. And I think this will end up being one of the ugliest, nastiest things that's going to hit them is the gambling stuff. Because we don't really know.
No,
we really don't know anything about it. We really know very little about it. And you kind of touched on a little bit about the cheating, right? Well, we do know how much it helped them. We do have a bottom line number. We know how much it helped them by bottom line.
Yes.
Right? It was 22%, because that's how much better they got in the second half of a game compared to the first half of the game. And that came out of the integrity investigation.
Right.
They got better 22% in the second half than they were in the first half of a game.
Yeah.
So we do know how much better it helped you, scum fans. At least 22%.
And here's the other thing, you talk about the hammer coming down. You talk about the effect it's having on recruiting. Let's also not forget, I believe from what I've heard, it's starting to have a little impact on their NIL. I think some of their donors are starting to dry up a little until this blows over. And let me tell you, if those checks aren't coming in, that's going to have an even more profound impact on their recruiting. Because you look at this, they're what right now in the 50s, I believe, with their recruiting class, and or at least they were a couple weeks ago. They were in the 50s still with their recruiting class for 2026. And there's been rumors that maybe the money's not coming in the way they like with the NIL, and if that happens, man, the scandals, the NIL, all this, wondering if you're going to have a postseason, just so much just piling up on top of everything. It is, you're right. I think it's going to take multiple years for them to recover. And I don't know that they can ever recover, depending on how bad, what we hear out of the final result is. Can this program ever recover? Will this program, because that's one thing we could say. We have never liked Michigan. We hate Michigan. It's what we do. We're not sorry about it. They're not sorry that they hate us. It was what made this such a great rivalry. But whether we hated them or not, I think there was always a level of mutual respect that is now gone. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's savior, has tarnished the rivalry. He has tarnished the team. And I don't believe that they will ever be the same. They will never be that respected blue blood team they once were ever again after this. And I may be wrong, but that's just where I'm at.
I agree. I don't think they ever recover from it. I don't. I think so much damage has been done, and this is going to drag out for years. This is going to be dragged out for years. They're not going to be. I mean, there's going to be a 30 for 30 done on this thing.
Just don't let Rich Eisen do it.
Yeah, they're not. I just don't see them recovering anytime soon. And what does recovery look like? Where they're going to go back to being a 9-win team again? Ooh,
yeah.
Scary.
And you think about it. Look at how long it took SMU to get back to any kind of relevance. I mean, it was what? When 84 was when they were originally. It
literally took them 41 years.
Yeah, it took them 41 years to get back to where they were competitive again. And 41 years of irrelevance in the Big Ten. You're not talking about being a blue blood anymore. You're talking about competing with Northwestern. So
yeah,
and that's a slight towards Northwestern fans.
That's all the only thing they're going to have left. And I think after Sharon Moore gets fired, I think that freaking their piece of crap athletic director probably gets fired not long after him.
Oh, absolutely.
They're just waiting. They're just waiting to hang. They're the scapegoats in this thing for scum, and someone's got to take the fall because Jimmy's gone.
Jimmy's gone.
And I think Jimmy will be looked back as you remember the movie. One of my favorite movies of all time was Ghostbusters, man.
Uh-huh.
You remember that when the Gozer says, "Choose your destroyer," and Dan Aykroyd's thinking
the Marshmallow Man. Yeah,
Marshmallow Man. I mean, that's freaking. That's exactly what it is, man. It's like their destroyer was their savior, ended up being their destroyer. It's going to be it's guys. We couldn't have scripted this any better, really.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Better. I mean, the fact that they've done this to themselves.
Yes.
Is comical in a lot of ways. But I'm with you. They've tainted the best rivalry in sports, and what they did was they rejuvenated it for us to a level of hate. But that rejuvenation came with now a level of hatred. Maybe Ryan Day didn't quite understand it before, but I think he kind of gets it now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And here's the other thing. I'm great with with a level of hatred, but I just wish it was for the right reasons. I would love to hate them for legitimately beating Ohio State on the field. I would love to feel that hate again. The hate we felt during the Cooper years. That's the hate I want to feel.
Oh, yeah.
That's the hate I want to feel towards Michigan. I like the Tressel years and the Urban years a whole lot better. Don't get me wrong. It's great to be on the winning side of it. But I want that hate to be hate because of what happened on the field, not because of what you did to disgrace the game. To me, it cheapened everything.
Yeah, what Jimmy did was, I guarantee you, Bo's probably rolling over in his grave.
Oh, absolutely.
But if it's going to be, we could just sit back and just laugh. Think about the level of trolling you're going to be able to go in and do those Michigan shows, people. Think about the level of trolling. It will be never ending. They'll just keep giving you more information. They'll just keep giving you more ammunition.
Here's the thing, though. I think the greatest troll of all is to not troll. The greatest troll of all is for us to let this happen, let this go down. Of course, Eric and I are gonna hop in the vehicles, head over to Pittsburgh, and have a big old party with Wargo. But after that, we just let it go, and we just show them how irrelevant they are by completely ignoring them altogether. I think that's an even better troll than taunting them on a constant basis. Just let them know you don't matter. $2 super chat from Bobby Mack, by the way. Thank you, Bobby Mack. And he was talking about your 30 for 30. Nope, it's going to have to be a 60 for 60. That's how extensive this thing is.
It might be a 90 for 90.
Absolutely.
But it's gonna be glorious, guys.
Yeah.
Game 6 isn't that far. It's gonna be here before we know it, and all good things come to those who wait.
Okay, we got B Moses in the chat. B Moses, the number should be scrolling along the bottom to call in, but just in case you didn't have it, and this is for everybody, the number to call is 567-483-1999. Sorry about that. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's just don't get wrapped around the axle, and everybody's like, oh, it's taking too long. I was like, well, you know what? I've been around a little bit.
Yep.
And usually these things take a whole lot longer than this. A whole lot longer. And everybody seems to forget that the NCAA made a rule called the Michigan rule to speed up investigations. And another reason why that's good is just think about how long it would have taken had they not doing that. And Michigan did not cooperate. So the fact that we're looking at like 18 months here, 19 months, and they're going to get a decision on the cheating, man, that is lightning fast for something like this. And Sharon Moore, I guarantee you, they're done screwing around with that cat. He's going to get I believe he's going to get at least a 2-year show cause.
Here's the thing.
He might get a 4. He might get 4. He might get what Jimmy got.
Here's the thing about that. He's going to feel the wrath for yes, don't get me wrong. He was complicit. 100% complicit. But Connor Stallions, Jim Harbaugh, Santa Ono, Ward Manuel have all basically given the NCAA the finger. And because those guys, with the exception of Manuel, are all gone, Manuel and Sharon Moore are going to feel the wrath of the NCAA. I truly believe that. All right, man.
I believe 100%.
All right. Well, hey, I got 2 more in queue. So I'm going to have to let you go, but hey, appreciate the call. Give us a call back next week.
OH.
Oh, go Bucks, brother.
Go Bucks.
All right. Another great call. Hey, it's a call from the Sunshine State coming in next. And again, I got 2 in queue. The phone lines are open. Number to call is 567-483-1999. How is it down there on them sunny beaches?
Hey, Chris. Actually, I'm back home.
You're back home?
Oh, I'm back in the beautiful state of Ohio, home to those 9-time national champion Ohio Guys, baby. And the same state that me and the boys absolutely wrecked everybody in high school football, which I miss to see the good spots, but of where we used to eat a bunch, and we still do. But how's everything going, Chris?
Well, you know what? It's good. I am 2 days out from the end of my school year, which don't get me wrong, love the kids I work with, love the people I work with, but I am ready for that summer break. I'm looking really forward to that. 2 days away from now. Get to focus a little bit more on hopping on here, maybe making some extra content, dropping some great new articles. And hey, Eric and I have this preview magazine we're working on for the Big Ten preview. And let me tell you that this wears me out, Dan. The Big Ten previews wear us out. Not just the magazine, but we started 2 days here in June where we basically go through and preview two teams from the Big Ten every week till the start of football season. So business is about to pick up, as they say. Business is about to
I
pick
get
up.
what you're saying, wow, man. But here's the other thing. We're talking about the scum, and I got home at the perfect time to talk about the scum because I was in Miami for just a few days, about a week, 2 weeks, week and a half, just to get my mind off of things. But then time back, you know what? I got a lot more energy and need to talk more about the scum.
Okay, hit it.
And I'm not gonna light up the scum too much because if I light it up, Eric's gonna be like, don't let me call back on the show again. Just saying because of language reasons. But here's just a simple message to you. I pray that Ohio State's defense absolutely destroys you this season. And here's the lucky thing, Sherelle Moore, if you're listening or one of your little idiots are listening. You're lucky Ohio State didn't recruit myself and 6 other guys who went to the same school as the Phelps twins, because we basically said this message. We hurt people for a living. And I'm just going to let the Scone fans know that we will hurt. You're lucky we're not playing on Ohio State's roster right now because we would hurt you all. And when I say hurt y'all, I mean the coaching staff, the football team entirely, take all down the cheerleaders, and put every single one of y'all in the freaking hospital because that's where y'all belong.
Wow, bringing the fire. But let me get this straight. You're saying you and your boys could go out there and play with the national champions. You're saying that you guys could get out there and compete at that level?
We didn't, but if we did, we would absolutely tear Michigan limb from freaking limb to limb. And we would be barbecue them boys on a Sunday morning. Come on now.
Okay.
I mean, did you not hear? I said we hurt people, and I hope the scum is hearing because we hurt people. We hurt people. That's all we did, and that's all we did to about 100 plus schools that we played every freaking year, minus a few rivalry games that ended a lot of blood. But I'll tell you what, every school that me and my buddies played in Ohio that we had to play that was like the weakest schools in the county and even across the state, they could not play football for 60 minutes against me and my boys back home. I swear to you, Chris. I swear to you. The only good games are like the country kid schools, you know what I mean? Like, a bunch of farm boys go to that school, they play football, we tear each other limb from them. Those are the good games. But as far as the city boy schools, they had nothing. I swear to you, nothing. Oh, my God. You wouldn't believe how many times I said we should reschedule these schools because we only should play them once a year, but they had us play them twice a year. It's ridiculous.
Okay. So,
and heck, I was just talking to my one buddy that played strong safety. I'll tell you what, that guy was basically Cam Chancellor, Sean Taylor, and Brian Dawkins in one man. The man was quick. I mean, the guy's got some height on him, about 6'2", 6'3", about 230 pounds. He could play linebacker, but they had him put a strong safety because the boy would level you so bad. I'll tell you what, you think about the hit Sean Taylor put on Brian Wildman, that punter?
Yeah.
Just wait till if you see my buddy that played strong safety, you would be wetting your pants about right now because that boy was even more dangerous than Sean freaking Taylor. No disrespect to the man up above. God rest the great legend's soul. But, I mean, basically he played the same way. Aggressive, mean. He didn't like nobody. He was quiet, but he was as deadly as a rattlesnake bite. I'm telling you, that's how good he was. And don't get me started about the other boys in the backfield that he played with as cornerback and safety. Because those boys were just mean, and I mean, you talk about the Legion Boom style mean. Talk about Ohio State's defense times 16 on the foul mouth times meanness scale. That's how mean them boys were. If they wanted to let you know not to come in the house and mess with us, they would let you know. That's the bottom line, Chris. So just pray to God and say, thank you, Lord, for not letting a bunch of demons play on Ohio State's football team. Because I swear to you, you and everybody else would be praying that Michigan, I don't know, Tom Brady's favorite boys, didn't end up in the hospital because let's just say that hospital would be so full they would have to borrow the next hospital across town from Ann Arbor to get all them boys in there. Just to be truthful.
All right, man.
I'm just saying, Chris. Just saying.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you don't. I mean, if you don't like the way I'm saying it, I'm just saying, dog. Like from somebody who's played high school football, who put quarterbacks down 16 under, somebody who basically broke records. I mean, come on. The scum is basically the school that's cowards, that are full of cowards. They got no cojones, and they got no guts. All they do they're all chickens that wear that maize and blue uniform. And I'll tell you, that maize and blue uniform looks like that came out of a nursery home or like nursery school or something. It's like a toddler preschool. But I swear to you, that's how bad their unis are. That's how bad, awful them unis look. They're basically like toddler uniforms. I mean, come on, Ohio State uniforms. We're the big dogs in the house. That's how you know Ohio State's superiority. When you see that scarlet and gray march on the field, you know somebody's going to get their butt kicked. When you saw Georgia's red, black, and white unis, you knew somebody was going to get hurt. I mean, that's how you're talking dominance-wise. It's not just the unis. We're talking about the guys who wore the unis. And, you know, the guys who wore the unis, there's a lot of guys that they're lucky. The NCAA is lucky. There's not many guys around there that are still wanting to prey on Michigan's soul and actually kick the living out of them. I'm telling you, Chris, just pray to God that Ohio State didn't get any more guys like that. Because I'm telling you what, if they did, there'd be carnage all over this dang league. And the Big Ten will be scared to death about these guys. I'm telling you, even me and my fellas back home, just telling you, just for their own safety. They're lucky they didn't have anybody that dangerous to step on Ohio State's campus. Just saying.
All right, man. Well, hey, you've got about a minute and a half I can let you have still. I got a full bank of calls now. What do you got? Anything else? Next minute and a half. Dan, it's all yours.
Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on, Chris, as always, OHIO. And the U sucks, and Scone fans, you suck too, and I left you a little present, and I can't show, but it's my middle finger. That's all for y'all.
All right, that was Dan. And Dan, what are we gonna do with that? You know what? There's no denying that our man Dan brings the energy. How about that? We'll take a positive spin on it. Our man Dan brings the energy. But hey, next up we have my boy Sean Schrock, one of the co-hosts of the Buckeye Lounge, coming up next. Sean, my man, what's happening?
Yo, man, that's 10 minutes of my life I'll never get back. I tell you. Whew, that was tough listening to him.
Steely was very observant today.
Wow. Too much coffee. I mean, too much Mountain. Was he all jacked up on Mountain Dew?
Actually, that sounds like about a 6-pack Monster to me.
Whew. I mean, I tell you what, that team he was describing, him and his friends, I bet they were the baddest chess team around. You know what I mean? I mean, come on now. I mean, sounds like a bunch of,
I'll tell you,
guys you don't want to go play chess with. I mean, it'll really bring the pain, when he takes when he yells checkmate to you. So.
Yeah, and I don't think he's ever actually told us where he played football, because I'm going to tell you, I would love to get on there and go ahead and check out those record books. Not Dan, not that I'm questioning my dude, just that, as anybody will tell you, I'm our stats guy, I'm our facts guy, and I gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it with everything. But
I mean, maybe he can show us his rings, just take a picture and, email them to us. We want to see all those championship rings. I mean, it sounds like you guys won a lot,
But Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. He said him and his boys could go out there and play with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Did he not say that?
I mean, is he talking about the guys? I mean,
I have no idea. I'm Dan. Let me tell you, buddy, you got me reeling right now, pal. And again, I love the energy. I love the energy of the calls.
Yeah.
But I also love the energy that I have when I get to teach, kindergarten and first grade too. So kind of slides right.
You're not supposed to eat more than one gummy at a time, Dan. I think you got the wrong kind of. Those were the wrong gummy bears you got at the store, brother.
Sounds like one of those things you
were
pull
the wrong kind of gummies. Wrong kind of gummies you got.
Oh, so Sean, redeem me with this call, please. What have you got on your mind tonight, my dude?
Oh. Oh, for the last 5 minutes, I've just been laughing and wondering what the heck I was listening to. Oh, I guess it's like it's like, I don't know if we're in we're in the crazy farm or what. You know what I mean?
Well,
Chris, gotta love it.
And
gotta love it.
No offense to our dude, lunatic fringe out there, but I'm starting to feel like at times the lunatics are running the asylum a little bit. But that's what we're here for. This is your call-in show. So.
Yeah. Well, I can say one thing: lunatic fringe would never go on a rant like that. I tell you that. My man lunatic might have the crazy name, but dude is one awesome dude. The other night,
absolutely great guy.
The other night, it was a Saturday night over the weekend, Chris. We had a 4.5 hour conference call. There was like 5 of us on it, of the pod squad, talking Saturday night.
Nice.
I mean, it went for like 4.5 hours Saturday night.
And we're figuring out how to drum up more members, right? More members of that pod squad.
Oh,
only $3.99 a month to sign up.
We were having a blast. I mean, shout out to TG, to Tyler, to Steely. Lunatic was on it. Lacey was on it.
Some of my favorite names.
We had a blast. We'd have called you guys, but it was like, a little late for you guys, so we don't want, wake you up. So.
Well, I'm old, man. I'm old. So.
But you don't look it, man.
Well, and you
don't act it.
Sunday,
that's all that matters.
Sunday I had a very busy day. My daughter graduated high school Sunday.
Congratulations! Yeah. I saw that.
Got to see your sister up on stage with them.
Oh, cool.
Nice. And of course, she's the assistant principal here at the high school in Marion, and or one of the high schools in Marion, and yeah, just happened to be the one that my daughter graduated from.
That's awesome. Congratulations to your daughter. Yeah. That's awesome. I know you're very proud of her. I saw that
so much.
You posted some pictures, so that's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congrats to you and your wife for doing a great job. You're such a great kid.
Couldn't be more proud. But speaking of proud, I am proud of our national champions. I am excited about this year's team. And I am exuberant over the fact that June 6th and 7th is only about 3 weeks away. So Sean, let me have it. What are you feeling tonight? What is your topic for the night?
I think they are going to get destroyed, honestly. I think I'm just want to ask everybody what they think if Sharon Moore even coaches this year. That's the question I want to ask the chat. That's the question I wanted to bring up to you. Does he even get to coach this year?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I think he gets at least a 1-year show cause, at least. And I don't know. My thought is I'm leaning towards if he gets a 1-year or more show cause. And given the fact you've got a new president coming in, I think there's a high likelihood that Ward Manuel loses his position as well out of this. I almost feel like your new president, your new athletic director, may decide to make a move.
I mean, usually when that happens, you usually want to bring your own person in. You know what I mean? Well, usually that's with the NFL when they get a new general manager and everything. They want to bring their own coach in. This is a little different. I get that, but honestly, I mean, it would be hard to keep him knowing that he couldn't coach at all this year and he was going to be gone.
Yeah.
Why not just cut bait with him and go hire your own guy?
Yeah.
I mean, agree. Then you got to ask yourself too if he gets a 1-year show cause and they get a 3 or 4 year bowl ban, how many of those kids jump ship then?
I think any of your NFL caliber kids are going to jump. You'll get some kids stay, but I think most of your NFL caliber kids jump. With a bowl ban looming. But I think it's going to, I mean, it's going to be so rough.
I mean, honestly, Chris, if there's a 3 or 4 year bowl ban, them freshmen that are like Bryce Harper, he's not going to want to stay there. He'll never get to compete for anything.
No,
it'll be pointless to play there. So I mean, plus we're already hearing rumors that they're having trouble making the NIL payment.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a couple of their benefactors have basically said, nope, not until this is all resolved. The purse strings are drying up. And I'll tell you what, when those checks stop coming, those mercenary recruits like Underwood that you're out there picking up, those kids ain't gonna stick around.
Well, I mean, if you're not getting paid and you're not able to compete for anything at all, what's the point of being there? I mean, honestly, unless you totally love the university or whatever. But I mean,
and
if they have any aspiration to want to play for a national championship or go pro, there's no reason to stay there if there's a 3 or 4 year bowl ban. None.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And I just kind of wonder, and you mentioned it, and so I'm pulling this up here. We look at their 2025 depth chart. So you're talking about the bowl ban. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of your freshmen hit the bricks.
Yeah.
I think that.
Too.
What's that? A lot of sophomores?
I even think the sophomores do too.
So you look at their starting lineup. You've got, let's see here, a couple redshirt senior transfers as their starting receivers. You go through their line, which honestly, I don't think their line is going to be a great offensive line this year, like what we've seen in the past couple of years. Of course, how much of what we've seen in the past couple of years was because of the magic play sheet,
Well, last year they weren't all that impressive either. I mean, they did improve a little bit towards the end, and they made some changes. But I don't know if they brought anybody else, if they brought some people in from the transfer portal or not to help.
But
if you look at Jordan Marshall, he'll be gone.
Yeah, you look at this. Jordan, I've got their starting lineup up here. Right now, they've got in their starting lineup, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 transfers that are either juniors or seniors. They probably don't go anywhere, to be honest, because Well, now maybe Justice Haynes goes. Maybe TJ Metcalf transfers. But I don't think Anthony Simpson or Donovan McCulley's going anywhere. Bryce Underwood, I think, is gone. If they get a bowl ban, Bryce Underwood's gone. I think
Jordan Marshall's gone too.
Yeah, I agree. I think Shamari Earls is gone. Joe Browder, their freshman wide receiver. Andrew Babola, who is their freshman left tackle, gone. Wouldn't surprise me if you don't see their sophomore transfers as well that are in there too deep. Guys like Brady Norton and Lawrence Hayter, I think, both gone. Maybe Trey Williams and Damon Payne gone. This is a team that's going to, if they get a significant bowl ban, I think they lose probably upwards of 6 to 10 players from their too deep.
And, they might even lose a senior or two that might be able to, people will reach out to them and say, hey,
yeah,
come play your last year here. We got a chance to make the playoffs, and you're at least going to be you're going to be a rotational player, or we could use you to start. I mean, it's better than, hey, at least I got a chance to play for something my senior year. It's just not for pride.
Yeah, and if you have a freshman who's a 4-star guy, 5-star guy, they're out the door because these guys are NFL caliber talent. So, Bobby Mack, $5 super chat. My guess is 4-year bowl ban, 2-year show cause for more, 3 years worth of vacated losses, reduction of scholarships, losses of Big Ten titles, but keeps their natty. I disagree, and this is why, Bobby Mack. The NCAA or the CFP has come out and basically said they would back the play of the NCAA on this. I think they have a hard time allowing them to keep the natty when they didn't legitimately get there. You could be right. I mean, you could be right, but I think, I think the natty has to go away. I think it has to, because you didn't actually earn the right to play for it. So, and again, I mentioned earlier, we had Alan DeGraffin read on last night on the Roundtable show, and man, everything he had to say about the cheating and the impact it had, it had a definitive competitive advantage, no matter what they want to say.
Chris, if it didn't, they wouldn't keep spending all that money on it. You don't throw away hundreds of thousands of dollars for nothing.
Right.
If it's not working, you're not going to keep throwing all that money at it, are you?
Absolutely.
No. And Connor Stalions wouldn't have been there that long. He'd have been gone if it didn't work right away. Boom. You guys would have been out the door if there's no competitive advantage. You wouldn't be given a GA, a lonely GA at the bottom, a freaking game ball.
Yeah.
Game balls go to people who affect the game and help win the game.
Yeah.
Just think about that, people. That's just, it drives me crazy when they say, well, it really didn't help them. I'm just like, if it really didn't help them, then why'd they keep doing it? And why did they keep spending that much money on it?
Right.
Obviously it was working. Sometimes I feel like you got to draw these people a picture, and that still probably wouldn't help. They either got their head so far in the sand or in other places that they just don't want to see the truth. They really can't be that dumb or ignorant, can they? I hope not.
Don't underestimate their ignorance, Sean.
I know.
Don't underestimate the ignorance.
Or the arrogance, or the biggest hypocritical fan base in the history of NCAA sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they are the most. They have the most. No other team has had that many violations. Or sanctions against them. My God, there was 10 coaches that have been sanctioned.
Yeah.
Come on, they've been suspended. SMU didn't even have that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this narrative that some of these people are pushing on Twitter that, well, the playoff committee and the TV stations aren't going to let this happen because Michigan brings so much money in and people are going to want Michigan in the playoffs. It's like, didn't really bother them last year, did it?
Right.
I mean, didn't they still have a playoff, Chris? I think they still
pretty sure
quite a bit of money on that playoff.
Pretty darn,
didn't the networks make quite a bit of money on that?
They did all right.
They didn't go broke.
They did not go broke.
They didn't. They didn't file bankruptcy like the clothing store for Michigan did on campus, though, did they?
That's
I
right.
don't think so.
So hey, Sean, hold on just one second.
How do you win a national championship?
So
How do you win a natty? You go bankrupt because you can't sell your stuff.
Right. Hold that thought for just 1 second, Sean. 614, you're up in the queue next. We also have, looks like Jeff and TG on the line. Going to get to you guys as soon as possible. We have a fourth caller in queue that's a new number. Hang with us as well. So Sean, got to get going. Got a full bank. Any other parting shots?
Sure. Just tomorrow we're going to have Alex Martin on from the Buckeye Bro Show on TGNI Show.
Awesome.
So he's going to come on. Please be there tomorrow at Buckeye Lounge, 8 p.m. You never know who's going to hang out and he'll be kicking in the lounge with us. So
good chance
Chris,
I'll be in there tomorrow night,
brother. Heck yeah, keep killing it, brother. And I know my partner in crime, my co-star, co-host, TG is going to be bringing the fire, so I'll get out of the way so she can just burn the house down. So,
and hey,
have a good one, my brother.
You and I get to meet up again this Wednesday again as well. So,
yes, I look forward to that too.
As do I.
Everybody, you need to check that out too. So,
all right, man. Take it easy, Sean. You have a good night,
my brother.
Io, go
you
Bucks.
Too. Bye.
All right, another $2 super chat from Bobby Mack. TCU has more violations than Georgia has arrests. That's disturbing. Because we all know how good the Georgia program has been over the last few years. And over the last couple of years, they actually have more arrests than they do wins. So that's saying a whole lot. All right, next up, we got the 614. New number here. Who we got on the line tonight?
What up? What up? This is B Moses.
B Moses, the man. How's it going?
Going well, man. Great show.
Thank you so much, sir.
Great rant. Yeah, man. I was just stopping by, scrolling through, and tuned in, and wanted to just, put a little bit out there in response to what you were saying. First of all, I 1000% agree with everything you're saying as far as the punishment. Anybody who's listened to me, I've pounded the table for no mercy for them, bowl bans, vacated wins, all of that. They've earned it, they deserved it, and all of that. So one thing I want to push back on with your brother is the notion that we need to be quiet and give them the silent treatment. No, sir. There's no way that can happen. These jokers for the last 2 years, have been absolutely ridiculous.
Unbearable.
Antics, with their delusion.
Unbearable.
Just ridiculous from their insiders to their fans. And I run a Facebook page, Buckeye Sports Talk with B Moses, and the Michigan trolls, have been coming in droves over the years since this scandal hit. And I got memes and videos and all types of content on deck waiting for them when these sanctions drop. So as for me, I will be destroying them. I'm already destroying them now, but once everything drops, I'm really going in on them. So slight disagreement with that, but just wanted to point that out because they've earned that, Chris. They've earned it from all of us. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
It just feels to me like they're attention seeking is what it is. Maybe it's just the teacher in me that is thinking they're attention seeking. They're going to try to keep themselves relevant through the use of our trolls, much like they did. They kept themselves relevant by playing Ohio State for the better part of the last 20 years, because we know they weren't relevant other than the fact that they played Ohio State.
Right.
The game is what kept them relevant. The game, and this is where my frustration comes, man. This is where my anger comes. The game, the greatest rivalry in sports, and it took a Michigan man to tarnish it.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh disgraced the game of football. He disgraced himself. He disgraced his players. He disgraced the University of Michigan. And he disgraced the greatest rivalry in football. Because I don't know that now, as Ohio State fans, as Michigan fans, and we talked about this, the hate is kind of rekindled over this. But I feel like it's hate for the wrong reason. And I feel like I don't know if the game, if that rivalry can ever get back what it once was, maybe not in the eyes of Ohio State or Michigan fans, but in the eyes of the national audience. Because I think that what he did, it made the game dirty, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
Yeah, same here. I'm not old enough to enjoy have enjoyed the Woody Hayes days, but I'm also still old enough to have witnessed the Cooper era.
Yes.
So I understand the hate. Born here in Columbus, Ohio, born and raised. So I understand the hate. It's deep rooted. But yeah, they've definitely ruined the integrity of the rivalry. And I mean, to me, it's from here on out, because I feel like Ryan Day has gotten the monkey off his back with this national championship win. I feel like there's a glow. There's a newness.
There's a swagger about him, a confidence. Not an arrogance, but a confidence.
I agree. Yes, I agree. It's like it was the monkey was off. It's like a release.
He was so loose when he did the press conferences.
Yeah. I think we're about to just kill them consecutively. We're about to go on another run and just embarrass them. And I feel like, because Ryan Day, yes, he's a great guy. He's a mental health guy, but he is a killer. You talk to anybody, Chip Kelly, Urban Meyer, they've all said the same thing. He's a competitor. And I feel like when all this dust settles, when it's proven that what he went through and his team went through, and how they were cheated, and how the effects of that kind of spilled over even to this last year, in my opinion, from a mental standpoint, the 2024 lost and choke job was a byproduct of the manufactured turning of the rivalry from the cheating. I feel like he's about to go on a run and just really just decimate them and just really take out all that pain and frustration in these next few years. So to me, in that standpoint, the hate will be fuel for the fire to really redeem what was stolen the past few years. So,
but the Michigan fans are going to say the only reason we were able to beat him is because the NCAA handcuffed him. That's going to be what they say. I guarantee it.
I can care less. All we got to do is point to the freaking NCAA website and say, "This is what you did."
That's right.
You put this on yourself, and I don't care. They can say whatever they want to say. Well, we already got fuel. We're going to have even more fuel when everything drops, when the sanctions drop. They can say whatever they want to say, because guess what? And I'm gonna hop off after this, Chris.
Yes, sir.
They have painted themselves in a corner for these years. They've been trolling and dying on this hill for so long. They haven't given themselves an out. They can try to spin it, but they've been so consistent with their delusion about they did nothing that it's just, there's going to be nothing to turn to. So they can say whatever they want to say, and we're going to feast on it and have a lot of fun with it.
Yes,
so, yeah.
Sir. All right. Well, hey, thanks for the call, B. Moses.
Right.
Appreciate it. Those of you who don't follow, make sure you go on Facebook,
doubt.
Check out his page. It's an awesome page. All right. Thank you, sir. You have a great night.
You, Chris. Yeah.
OH.
You too. All right. Peace. Ayo.
Go Bucks. All right. Now, I hope you're all ready. Well, hold on. There's one more call before we get down to TG yet, I guess. We have one more call before we get down to TG. We have Jeff in the queue, and then TG, and lines are open after that. Jeff, how's it going?
Yes. Hey, good, man. Good. Good to hear you, man. How are you? How you guys doing?
Oh man, life is good. Life is great. We're doing wonderful. The wife
Hey,
sent them in. The daughter just graduated high school. I'm 2 days out from summer vacation. And hey, we are only 92 days out from watching Ohio State whoop the crap out of Texas in the horseshoe and start defending that national
yeah,
title.
that's right. That's right. 92 days, but who's counting, right?
That's right.
But anyway, I got to tell you this, brother. I was born and raised in Columbus, and I love being able to turn on the internet and hear people hating on Michigan. I mean, what more can you ask for?
It's a good feeling, isn't it? And that's what we do here. That's why we have this platform. You can call in, you can vent, you can say whatever you want about the losers up north, the scum loserines, the cheaters up north, whatever you want to call them, the dumpster fire, the trash. Let's just keep. All we got to do is we got to just keep it family friendly. That's all I ask.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it really is incredible. I mean, and I was talking to my wife today. My wife is from Georgia, okay, and
Okay.
we were and we got to talking about Georgia football, and her son is a big Georgia fanatic. But and then I got to talking about about Ohio and Michigan. I said, people don't understand what a real rivalry is. You'll never. I said you will never understand unless you are from up there, unless you've been a part of that. You'll never know what true hatred is. I mean, am I right on that?
Oh, I agree 100%. And here's the thing: we hate that team up north. We hate them, and I hate them even more now because it used to be I hated them, but I could respect them. There's no respect left. It's just pure, unadulterated hatred at this point. Just pure
Oh
venom. I
yeah.
got nothing
Oh
else
yeah.
for them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt. You made some very good points about the disgrace that Harbaugh put on them, and you were talking about what the sanctions are probably going to be. I mean, now I know you guys follow this stuff, but so you do think that there is a chance, honestly, that they are going to pull the natty away from them because of all this?
I think there's a chance, but I don't know if you saw the comment that Bobby Mack made earlier. I could see them attempting that, where they attempt to say, okay, we'll plead out, we'll concede to a bowl ban, we'll concede to vacated wins, we will concede to the 1 year show cause on Sharon Moore. Just don't take our title. And you know what?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's gonna pain me to say this, but I think if they would take and make that offer to the NCAA, I think the NCAA takes it. And as much as I hate it, I think it's good business if they do. Just because
Right.
it saves them the headaches of fighting anything in court, should they have to do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
being said, I do think there is a chance that they take it. I think the NCAA wants it. I think that's one of the reasons this thing wasn't settled out of court, a year ago, is because they want that title back. And I
Right.
agree, Mika. We need it all. We want to vacate everything. In fact, I would love to see them have to forfeit, not just vacate. I would love to see them forfeit all the games they played over that 3-year stretch. That's not going to happen. Sadly, it's not going to happen. I wish it would, but it's not.
Right.
But I
And if
think there's a chance
but
that the title gets pulled. Yes.
yeah, but if like you said, that's a good point, because like you said, if they do that, and they say, okay, they make agreement, okay, you guys keep the national championship, but then they're just going to be hammered on everything else pretty much. Is that kind of like what you're saying, basically?
Yeah, and I think that's something that Michigan, I think, would be willing to live with. And sadly, I think it's something that the NCAA would be willing to live with. But it would still leave a very bad taste in my mouth for them to keep that title, considering the fact that they didn't earn the right to play for it. That's where my issue lies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Now, the game. We're gonna play them away this year.
Yes.
Now, you guys know better than me. You know that everybody's got the coaches and players. They all got that date circled for real.
Correct.
I mean, with the talent, all the talent that we have coming up, the new talent and everything else, and I mean, I think we go up there and kick their ass, dude. Well, I mean, what do you think?
Okay, so this is kind of the way I look at it, and I'm going to break it down real quick, position by position. If I look at the quarterback position, we both have first-time starters. A lot of people might say this is a push. I don't think so, because the difference being Julian Sain has been in, whether it's Julian Sain and Lincoln Keenholz, both talented, they lack game experience, but they've both been in the system. So they're not going to be as up against it as, say, Bryce Underwood, or should Jaden Davis end up vying for that role. I don't think he would, but should he? Either one of those guys, I think, is going to struggle much, much more than what the Ohio State guys are. I give quarterback advantage to Ohio State. Running backs, you got James Peoples, you got the Donaldson transfer, you got Bo Jackson. Wolverines, they got Justice Haynes, Jordan Marshall, Benjamin Hall. And I look at this and I think there's a little more actual. Well, this is the thing. Maybe a hair more experience in their system goes to Michigan. But I look at this and I say this is almost a push, because I think that the talent at Ohio State is that good. Offensive line, man, Michigan lost so much. You got a bunch of guys coming back to Ohio State. I think we saw last year at the end what it could be. I give Ohio State the advantage on the offensive line. Wide receivers, I don't think it's even a question. That's easy advantage Ohio State. You look at defensive line, I think that our starting four is among the best in the country. And you are right, Tyler. You're right. I did see that, and I forgot to take it out of my notes. But defensive line, I think our starting four is going to be as good as any in the country. A little concerned about our depth, but I think it's going to be better now. I like the additions of Logan George. I like the kid Thor that we got from down there at Carolina. I think those guys are going to be great additions, and push for starting time for sure. I like our depth and our returning starters along the front. I don't think Michigan's got, they lost a lot off that defensive line, losing Grant and Mason Grant, the kid that went to Cleveland. Linebackers,
right.
I like what we got at linebacker. A lot of people will tell you Michigan might have an edge in the linebacker room. I don't think so. I think that Sonny Styles, Reese, and then the kids we got coming up behind them, I think we got a lot there. I like our depth there too. Secondary,
right?
We got the best safety in the country. Let's call it what it is. We got the best safety in the country. We got one of the most physical corners in the country coming back in Igman Nosen. We have tremendous play from these young guys coming up. And we got Devin Sanchez, who's going to push for starting time as a freshman. He's that good. I got advantage Ohio State. So across the board, I look at this, and the only place they might be able to argue that they have any kind of advantage would possibly be the running back room, and I think it's a weak argument. Maybe the linebacker room, but again, I think it's a weak argument. We are head and shoulders above Michigan this year, talent-wise. We have a lot of these guys who, even if they haven't got a lot of playing time, have played in this system. Now, granted,
Right.
the defensive
Right.
system is going to change a little. We don't know what exactly Matt Patricia is going to do. Offensively, we
Okay.
should have a juggernaut.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt about it.
So
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't
No
think
doubt
that this is
about
any
it.
question. I can't remember who it was. Somebody joked earlier, 75-0 Ohio State. I don't know that it gets to 75-0 Ohio State. But I'll tell you what, I would not be surprised to see Ohio State go into the outhouse and drop 45-50 on these guys.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I agree, but like you just mentioned, the offense. My goodness, I mean, yeah, they're they're very explosive, and they're so talented. It's like, who's going to stop that offense? But I wanted to ask you this, and the other caller kind of commented on this, and I wanted to see what you thought. Now, let's say we go in and everybody in Texas, they're going to be hyped up. Their beloved Longhorns are playing what the hell ever. But let's say we go in there, we just kick their ass. I mean, big time, right? And the other guy was talking about the confidence that Ryan Day has now, and
Yeah.
he kind of got that monkey off of his back, right? Now we go in there, we take care of business, totally destroy them, right, or at least beat them, at least beat them. Now, what's going to keep the confidence from even getting more and more rolling into a possible national championship? I think they'll be like, probably just, they'll be so stoked up if that happens that they may be unstoppable.
Right now, and I'll tell you, I look at the Ohio State schedule, and to me, this is something that is really interesting, and that is you've got the first game of the year against Texas. Really rough game to start the year with, but we have it
Right.
at Columbus. That's huge. Having it in the
Okay.
shoe is huge. And I think that we're
Okay.
going to handle Texas. And I'm going to give you the hot take. I'm going to give it to you now. I think that we beat them by 2 scores.
Okay. Okay.
We have that monkey off our back. We have to get the monkey off our back in Ann Arbor this year. I think we are so talented. I think they got so much chaos going on up there. I think this is the year that Ryan Day just absolutely drills them. And think about this. Ryan Day's record is obviously not good against that team up north.
Right.
But if you wipe out 3 of them losses because of vacating the wins, and then he goes out there and beats them this year. He's got a winning record versus that team up north. That swagger,
Right.
that swagger gets that much stronger. And you asked what could stop
no
them?
doubt.
What could stop them? There are really there's 2 games that I look at on this schedule in the middle of the schedule that could be potential trip up games. One of them is when Penn State comes to town, because Penn State is a good team. However, I truly believe that James Franklin will James Franklin this thing and find a way to lose.
Okay. Okay. All right.
The one that scares me most of all, believe it or not, is at Illinois. Don't sleep on Illinois. I think Illinois right now is a top 10 team. They got a lot of guys returning, a lot of experience returning. I think that Brett Bielema is underrated as a head coach. And I think Illinois is going to give some teams some problems this year. I think we can go in there and beat them, but that is, kind of really, it's almost a bit of a trap game because, and you can look at Wisconsin and say the same thing because that comes the week before Penn State. But you're at Illinois, at Wisconsin, and versus Penn State. Camp Randall's a tough place to play. At Illinois is going to be tough. And versus Penn State, that is a 3-game stretch in the middle of the schedule that if we were to end up tripping up and losing one of those 3, I cannot say that I would be surprised. But I think we go out because let me tell you, let me just go out and say this right now. I don't know that you're ever going to see another undefeated team in college football. With the new playoff format,
that's a good
because we've gone to basically an NFL format. When was the last time we saw an undefeated team in the NFL?
Right.
What was it, the 72 Dolphins?
Right. That's right.
I mean, Brady and the Patriots made it the 1 year, got all the way to the Super Bowl, and then lost the Super Bowl to Eli Manning and the Giants, I believe.
Right. That's right.
But yeah, I think the 72 Dolphins were the last undefeated team in pro football, and that's the type of schedule we've gone to now. So, unless you're a team who's playing an extremely soft schedule, Michigan, I don't know, Bama. I don't know if you've got a real legitimate shot at seeing a team that's going to go undefeated. Because I think the face of college football has just changed.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree. But I'll make a couple more points here, and then I'll get off. I'm sorry that I was thinking the game with Texas is a home game for us. I'm sorry, I was thinking it was there. It's a home game.
It is a home game. It's in Columbus, yes. With just so you know, right now, tickets starting as low as $312.
Okay.
The only game on our schedule where the tickets cost more is the game in Ann Arbor, and that's because people want to pay for Ohio State to see to go up there, see Ohio State go up there and kick their butts.
Oh yeah, right. Well, hey, let me ask you this real quick. I know you've been around a little bit, and do you remember? This is going a little ways back now, but did you remember there was a game that Ohio State and Michigan played? I don't remember what year it was, but Ohio State was just totally killing them, and they ended up winning something like 58-3 or something. But anyway, we scored a touchdown with like in the last seconds of the game. And Woody Hayes, instead of kicking the extra point,
went for two. Why did you go for two? Because I couldn't go for three.
Yeah. They asked him, why did you do that? Because I couldn't go to three. So you do know about that.
Yep, and I hope we see a little bit of that in Ryan Day this year. I hope that once we get a big lead, he just continues to lay it on.
Yeah, I know. All right, man, I'm going to get off here, man. I love you guys, man. I appreciate the time, okay?
All right. Hey, appreciate the call. Don't make yourself a stranger. We'll talk to you later. OH.
I-O.
Go Bucks. I got two more in queue. The next one is the lady who brings the fire. That's right. Looks like we got TG on the line next, to be followed up by a living legend. So before we get to those calls, just let me remind you, make sure you're smashing that like button, ringing that bell, subscribing, and hey, if you are on the X, it looks like right now we have about 66 people watching us on the X. You know what? If you don't want to come over to our YouTube channel, that's okay. Even though we do definitely love our YouTube format, we love our people watching from anywhere. Do us a favor though, go to the OHIO Pod on X, and please follow our page. We'd really appreciate it. That helps us get our show out to other fans throughout the Twitterverse, throughout YouTube, throughout Facebook. No matter what platform you're using to watch us right now, please make sure you are liking and sharing with your friends. All right. Here she comes. She's been waiting a long time. That means I know she's got some energy because she's been sitting there waiting a long time. TG, what you got?
Yo, what up, Chris?
Hey.
How you doing tonight, my brother?
Oh man, I am feeling so good right now. I'm just on a high right now. I'm loving it.
Yes, so am I. Here's what I gotta say to you Michigan fans: go suck on it, because now one NCAA sanctions hit, y'all are in trouble. Y'all slowly starting to back off now, slowly, but now you're trying to play the victim. Because when you do, Us Ohio State fans will be celebrating like no tomorrow, dunking on you for the entire show.
Oh, well, and B. Moses came at me a little bit. I said the best thing we can do is treat them like an attention-seeking child and just kind of ignore it. But I can see where most people are coming from. We've had to listen to their nonsense for 2 years, 3 years. We've had to listen to them run their mouths for 4 consecutive years about how they have been so dominant. And we've been subjected to Rich Eisen and his mockumentaries, and because I can't call it a documentary because there was nothing truthful about it.
Right.
We've been subjected to the Michigan media, and I use that term very loosely, and the arrogance of the fans. And I can understand why everybody's just licking their lips and just licking their chops at the thought of being able to go and troll these little weasels. Like I said, Eric and I, we're gonna hop in the old vehicles, hop over to Pittsburgh. We're gonna go party with Mike Wargo and the Alumni Club of Pittsburgh when this ruling comes out. But it's like, I get it. I get why Ohio State fans are as angry as they are, and we have every right to be. But yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
And I know I get it.
And I don't care about what Rich Eisen says. I don't care. Like, dude, once these sanctions hit, you finna fall right back to where you were as a Michigan fan, which is in the hole. And whether Michigan fans are aware of it or not, fans across the nation are starting to see what Ohio State fans be talking about when we call you the worst fan base, because now people are starting to see what Ohio State fans be talking about. At least for Ohio State, we act the way we do because our program is successful. Whereas with this program, you've been irrelevant for so long and you acted so high and mighty because you finally did something, but you did it off cheating. And you basically show everybody just how irrelevant, just how low the standard you hold your program to. Like, again, Burks, I like Burks because he's one of the Michigan fans that keeps it real. He's one of the small portions of that fan base.
Yeah.
And there are some that do that. I say this to those fans all the time. You are welcome in the chat as long as because I know you're not the type that will go overboard like majority of these other fans. But these other fans, unless you want to see the worst of this Buckeye fan base, you don't come in this chat room. Don't ever. And again, you're going to have all Ohio State fans, and I guarantee you that when that happens, these little punks will be in the dark somewhere, hiding, not showing their face. I bet you a lot of their YouTube shows won't even be on. I bet.
Well, they're going to be hanging their head in shame, because they know. They've been able to
Yep.
They've been able to stick their head in the sand for the better part of the last 2.5, 3 years as this is all unfolded. And, they're going to come face to face with reality in, about 3 short weeks is when the NCAA committee meets. But I'm hearing anywhere from 30 to 45 days after that's when we'll see a punishment probably. So we're going to have to endure it through most of the summer. But I don't know if you heard the call earlier, TG, but I love this. The fact that I didn't realize that it was D-Day, the day that they're holding the trial, or the committee meeting. I think that's just so appropriate that it's D-Day when they do that. Because that is what it is. It is D-Day for the Loserines.
Absolutely.
The NCAA.
It's been super funny just watching these guys try to come up with every excuse in the book. Trust me, I've been seeing them. They be coming up with every excuse in the book.
I don't even know what's going on in the chat, but I just look over We must have a Michigan fan in the chat because Tyler pops up. I'll boot you immediately, Michigan man, if you act crazy.
Depends on who you're talking about, because which one is we talking about? Yeah, let me see.
Well, you know, and this is the thing. I always welcome Michigan fans. I welcome them to call, which we know they won't. We welcome them to debate, which we know they won't. We welcome them to come over to the right side. Get on the right side of things, you know, but they won't.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried hard to convince Burks to just admit it. He's a closet Buckeye fan, but he won't do it. And you know what? I respect him for hanging with his team even through all this. But like you said, one of the few guys who was wanting to hold them accountable for their mess too. So.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Tyler was just saying he's talking about Michigan Michigan fans in general. If any of them come in the chat. Oh, it would be funny is I know because I listened to Sean's call and he told you about the little chat. All of us, myself, Steely, Lacey, and Aaron, a couple others, lunatic friends. How we all was having fun. I mean, we're even having fun in the chat as of right now.
and that's great. That's what our chat's for, you know. Come in and it's about community. It's about having a good time. And you know what? I don't know because I mentioned it earlier. I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world. I'm still trying to find the access to my MySpace account, but you know, I don't know if our friends on Twitter actually have the ability to chat with us or not. But you know, we've got so many people on Twitter. I sure hope they're following us. And hey, if you can't join into the chat here, you definitely need to hop onto YouTube. Check out the link we've posted on X. Go to YouTube, get into the chat with the Pod Squad because they are just awesome. Some of the most enlightened,
oh yeah,
well educated football fans that I've ever had the privilege of knowing, and you know, but at the same time, we're not that. How do I keep it family friendly? We don't have a bunch of people with a stick up their butt in our chat. It's a good group of people who like to have fun, discuss football, you know, so it's great.
Yeah, I think Chris, you should have been on the call with all of us at the time because it was so fun. We were cracking up in there, just making jokes, having fun. It was awesome.
And maybe on the next one, this last one, Saturday would not have been a good night for me. I was preparing for my daughter's graduation. I had a big day Saturday and then had to prep for that Sunday. So, you know, that was
congratulations, by the way.
Yes,
on your daughter graduating high school.
So happy, so proud about that. Couldn't be happier. So, Ryan Day's Beard asks where Burks has been. I believe Burks has said that he's going to take himself a little hiatus from YouTube and from X until I think this kind of all rolls out, plays itself out, because I think Burks is getting tired, TG. I think this thing's weighing on Burks more than it's weighing on anybody else right now.
I mean, he basically had quit watching his own media people because of how stupid they are, which we've been telling him for the longest.
Yeah. I mean, I feel for the guy because he's almost like that man without a home, so to speak, because, you know, we've tried to convince him to come over to the Ohio State side of things, like our good buddy Ray, who calls in. You know, he started out a Wolverines guy till they did him wrong, and he came over to the Buckeye side, and you know, we've tried to convince Burks to do the same thing, but he's loyal to his team. Mad respect for that. You know, but he catches crap from the Ohio State fans. He catches crap from his own Michigan fans because he holds his ideas to hold his program to a higher standard. So he's just like that guy who's stuck in the middle. He can't win.
I mean, let's be realistic. I don't think like Buckeye fans really shouldn't hate him. I get that he talks trash behind people's back, which is pretty much why. But it's like, listen, at least the guy will stand in the paint and defend his team. He's not like all these other, and he's actually realistic about his team and holds them to a high standard. Which, unlike the phonies in Michigan, because I said it before, these phonies up in Michigan, these scum fans, hold their program to such low standards. I mean, such low, so where you're okay with the stuff that actually happens.
Yes.
Like, you don't care as long as you win. So, like, that's the problem with them. And then, like I said, man, I've actually been keeping track in the NFL of all players across all teams, including our own. I actually think I can see our players having a good year, even our rookie class. I think a lot of these guys have a chance to get to defensive and offensive player of the year. It would be awesome for at least two of them to get offensive rookie and defensive rookie of the year. It would be awesome to have that for the first time. And when does that happen?
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. I know that we had a good run of defensive player
that would
of the
be
year.
awesome.
Yeah, we've had a really good run of the
It's just
defensive
that we
player of the
haven't
year.
had both of them win in the same year. We haven't had both of them win in the same year, which would be awesome. I think we do have a chance with this class. I think we have a chance, so I'm excited for that.
And I'll tell you,
I'm even to keep it.
Don't be surprised
Don't
be surprised if you talk about offensive rookie of the year. I don't think Emeka is going to do a ton. I think he's going to have a good year, but I don't think it'll be great because there's a couple of really good guys down there in Tampa right now. So barring injury, I think he's going to share a lot of the workload down there. But watch for Q to have a big year in Cleveland. I think he's going to be kind of like the workhorse of that offense in Cleveland.
Absolutely. Honestly, but also keep an eye on Trey. Keep an eye on Trey.
Yes, because he's a guy that, I know.
I'm sorry, but I'm like, I think Trey has because this dude is just a home run hitter out of the gate. He can do small yardage, but that man can get you when you least expect it. And he's an excellent blocker. So it's so it's hitting Q. And I do think Emeka has a chance because I know for a fact he's got Mike and Chris down there, but Chris Godwin's coming off an injury. So I think Emeka has a chance to load off Chris. And also, Mike's not getting any younger. So it's like I can't see them getting Emeka more involved just because it's like, hey, why not get one of our favorite players at this time? So I think he's got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Sorry, TG. I got distracted momentarily. There's this guy that just showed up down at the bottom of my screen. But anything else you got for us tonight, TG?
Yeah, here's my thing. For everybody with enough. Shut up with the Larry Johnson narrative. My goodness, I'm sick of hearing it. I'm so tired of it. It's like, oh my God, I get the recruiting with the 2026 class. We haven't landed anyone yet, but I'd rather have him land someone later than land someone early. Because every time we've landed someone early, they flip out of the class. We've seen this repeated times. Like London Marion is here, Mathis, for example, from last year. Like we had those guys, and then they left. They committed early, so I'd rather have a chance to just get them late. And this whole thing that people talked about the defensive line, obviously with JT, Jack, and Tyreek and Ty, and how they kind of underperformed or whatever. Here's my thing: I don't put that on Larry because what people need to understand is, our defensive line for the past 3 years have been asked to play in a system that was handcuffing them. I'm sorry to tell people, but this is just factual. We've never had a problem with pass rushing until Jim Knowles became the defensive coordinator. When he became the defensive coordinator, that's when we started having problems with pass rushing. We had problems with pass rushing with Kerry Combs, who's the worst D coordinator we've ever had. He's a great defensive back coach, but he's the worst D coordinator we've ever had. We didn't have problems then. I mean, let's be real. Those guys as freshmen was tearing it up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Look at the stats they're getting up. I mean, JT started as a freshman. Don't start as a freshman unless Larry thinks you that good. Same with Tyreek. I mean, obviously he has to get himself in shape more, get more playing time. But Tyreek was getting in there, and this guy was getting 5 sacks. I mean, I gotta tell you how this guy dominates guards and double teams. If you leave him one-on-one with a guard, he's gonna push that dude 5 yards into the backfield. If you leave him in a double team, he's gonna dominate the double team. You cannot move that guy. You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
And again, he had 5 sacks, and then he wasn't doing that. But again, it comes down to the system he was playing in. Jack was doing well until, again, the way Jim Knowles was using him was not good at all. You try to put him in the Jack, that wasn't going to work. Let's be real, that's not what Jack Sawyer was. And then my Hamilton, I mean, I think he's a lot like his brother, where he is a bona fide star just waiting to happen. I think he actually played very well. But when you pretty much look at the defensive line, I think Larry's done a good job with development. And I get that people aren't sold on Jason Moore and Will Smith and some of these guys. It's like, guys, they spent their time in a defensive system that's not for them. I'm sorry to tell people, this is why we have Matt Patricia, because he will know how to use these guys up front. He is a defensive coordinator where his system is completely dependent on player personnel. I like Jim Knowles. I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but he only has one system that works towards specific player personnel that fits his defense. That was not that defense. He has to change the way he ran that defense and has to get the handcuffs off the defensive line, because we saw it in the playoffs. When he took the handcuffs off the D-line, they were going stupid. I mean, even the defensive line had a problem with that defense. They felt like they were
Are you on right now? I'm sorry. They can hear you.
Okay, this guy's done great work, and it's in spite of the fact that his D linemen have been getting handcuffed by a defensive coordinator due to a system. Give them credit for doing their job in a system and not complaining about it. Just come on. I get that you have recruits that won't commit to Ohio State for whatever reason, but we have this in this new NIL era where some of these kids will take a bigger bag. That goes for D-line recruits. That even goes for offensive line recruits. I mean, we've seen this for how many players we missed out on?
Well, yeah,
like,
exactly.
How many players did we miss out on?
Oh.
It's like in today's day and age with NIL, the D linemen and the offensive linemen are becoming the divas like wide receivers. Except you don't have that many wide receivers in this diva.
And here's the thing with that, TG. I'm more inclined to give NIL money, to keep the guys we already got that we have a known commodity. And then B, if you're going to spend NIL dollars on a freshman coming in, it's almost got to be a can't miss skill position freshman. Jeremiah Smith, absolutely. Perfect example. That's what you've got to have if you're going to be giving big NIL dollars to a freshman. So, I think a lot of these schools are going to find out what a mistake it is. Yes.
Dylan Stewart was a guy that Ohio State wanted, and they actually was winning that recruitment. They just weren't going to give him the big dollars because even though we see how great he played as a freshman, you weren't sure of that. And it's like, this is my thing with a lot of these kids. It's like, y'all chase the bag so much instead of focus on getting developed. Like, why do you guys not want to work hard for your money? Like, seriously, this is going to be the biggest thing that hits these kids in the face, because money don't last. You're going to have to work for it in real life. You're going to have to. Because if you don't, and you don't know how to do it when you have stupid people like Phil Knight, stupid people like the South Carolina Gamecocks, stupid, desperate like USC, like Miami, and I'm going to say this right now, with Miami, you deserve to have all the expectations. You're going to keep spending a bunch of money on recruits. Man, they better be like Jesse Cantwell. He better be a can't-miss prospect, because I've seen you guys have so many five-star offensive linemen, and all the guys you've had at five-star have been like swing or miss, hit or miss, mostly miss. So, like, at some point, you can't keep paying out money to these big-time recruits when there's a high bust potential. It always happens.
Yes.
And for these recruits, Ohio State tells you, if you're just looking for money, we are not the program for you. I'm sorry. That's just truthful. But it's not just because they won't give you the money. But if you come to Ohio State, you get that kind of money, dude, the fans will be ruthless towards you if you're not playing at an all-elite level. You trying to get that money. Like, the fan base is not one to play. Like, they're trying to protect you from this fan base because they know what will happen to you. If you get paid that kind of money and you come out here playing like garbage, you will get absolutely attacked by this fan base, especially by the crazies, 10% of this fan base on Twitter, and they will take personal shots at your family. Am I an advocate for that? No, but they will, because you decided to go for the money. Like, no, just don't. That's how fan bases are.
Right.
Especially this one.
Yeah. All right, TG. Hey, we've been on for about 20 minutes. I'm going to have to let you go, but please make sure you stay on, because we have a special guest with a message for you coming up here right after this call. So I need you and Sean to hang on the line here and be ready to hear what Buckeye Boggs has to say. So, hey, we'll talk to you next week, TG.
Oh, absolutely.
OH.
Oh, yeah. By the way, let me say this.
Yes, sir.
Eric and I have a video that will be coming out tomorrow. And at the time that we made that video, I didn't know who was going to be on the Tuesday show. So just letting y'all know for a heads up. And you guys are going to hear me and Eric talk about the Michigan sanctions and our whole stance on it, basically, where him and I come from. So enjoy it and enjoy our Tuesday show. Me and Sean, watch us with our special guest and have fun.
All right. Hey, take it easy, TG.
You too, Sean. OH.
I-O. Apparently, I am now Sean. All right. So, I got to move our friend up here in the screen, I think. Oh, look at that. He already had the screen set. Oh, by the way, before Eric gets started, Ray, hang with us. We got you in queue yet, and then you're probably going to be our last caller of the night as we have gone into some serious overtime tonight. All right, Eric, what you got for us?
First off, can you hear me? I don't have a microphone.
I can hear you. Great, yes.
Okay, cool. So I've been working on something for Sean and TG, and I'd like to spring this on them tonight because I just finished it during the show. So, without any further ado, we have the official Buckeye Lounge intro song and video for all of you. Here it is.
O-H-I-O-H-I-O Buckeye Lounge, we run this game. Rockstar Sean, remember the name. TG's lurking, Wolverine's fear. Scarlet and gray, make it loud and clear. O-H-I-O-H-I-O TG and Sean, bringing that smoke. They stand in the paint, that ain't no joke. Tune in, turn up, let the show begin. The Buckeye Lounge, straight fire within. O-H-I-O-H-I-O Buckeye Lounge, we run this game. Rockstar Sean, remember the name. TG's lurking, Wolverine's fear. Scarlet and gray, make it loud and clear.
That was awesome, Eric.
You like that?
That was some of your best work, man.
I dropped some rhymes today, some bars, as they say.
Man, that was good. In fact, our buddy Ryan Day's Championship Beard compared it to one of the callers from earlier and B. Moses.
Whoa! Nah, ain't that good.
That's some serious cred you just got there, man.
Well, you know, the technology's improving.
I thought you might get out your guitar and sing it, but
no. Hey, throw TG's coming up on there. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an amazing intro.
So I used some of her lines, like standing in the paint.
I heard it.
Yeah. So I had to throw that up there real fast. Let you all see that. They'll be able to play that at the beginning of their shows beginning tomorrow. So that's their new intro, man.
8:00 tomorrow night, Buckeye Lounge with Sean and TG.
Yep. All right, man.
All right. Talk to you later.
See you, buddy.
See ya. We're still rolling. We still got 100 people watching the show here tonight. Looks like we got about 75 of you on the X. Guys, as I mentioned before, please go on and follow us, the OHIO Pod on the X. Also, you can catch us on our YouTube channel, catch us on Facebook. You can go to the OHIOpodcast.com, check out some great articles from us on there. And make sure, again, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, ring that bell so you know when the new content hits. All right, we're going to roll over to our last caller of the night. And what a way to end tonight's show. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Ray, are you still with us there?
Wildman, what's up?
Oh, Ray, I'll tell you, it's been a great night, great show. Man, I mean, we got 103 people still watching on all the forms of social media that we have out there. And the show's been on fire tonight. We've had some great calls tonight. You are actually our 9th caller of the night. And man, we've had some great calls. So what you got on your mind tonight, Ray?
I'm going to talk about the bullies, the heathens. I call them the bullies and the heathens. Do you remember back in 2006 when you fired me about talking about God? And then in 2010, you stripped me of my season tickets I had for 25 years. All because you got a guy named Thomas Blessing. He ain't no blessing. He was a devil himself. And so was all you guys. And now you got somebody that ain't going to let you bully him around. I would have took you to court and sued your asses. But the NCAA does, and I'm hoping to God they do the right thing in 2 weeks and put the hammer down on their ass big time. Now you're talking about that. They better give them, if they don't take away that national title, they better at least give them 3 to 4 years bowl ban, because you guys got a year over nothing. You're going to try to tell me after all the crap that's come out and crap to come that they don't deserve at least a 3 or 4 year bowl ban?
Well, here's the thing, Ray. The NCAA didn't have to give us our bowl ban. We self-imposed. Which, if Michigan was smart, would have been how they started out, was offering a self-imposed 1 or 2 year bowl ban, offering up some sacrificial lambs on the coaching staff, maybe even offering to vacate some wins. Had they done that, had they just been honest and cooperative in the beginning of this whole investigation, sacrificed a little at the time, I really believe they walk away with nothing more than a minor slap on the wrist. But they didn't.
Well, they're liars and you can't expect liars and cheaters to get honest, do you?
No, absolutely not. And that's what we've come to expect from this program is nothing less than corruption and immorality and, as you said, heathenistic behavior. That's what we've come to expect from this program, from its media, from its fans, from its administration. And Stephen Matt throws up a great point. They could have just self-imposed a bowl ban this year, given Sharon 6 games off this year. And I think that a lot of this goes away. Maybe vacate a year's worth of their victories. I think had they done that, the NCAA probably would have settled with them. But no, they wanted to prove how big and bad they were. They wanted to, basically give the finger to the NCAA. And now, I think they're looking at serious sanctions. The type of sanctions that literally can set a program back for 2 decades. And
hey, Wildman,
yeah,
I gotta tell you something though.
Yeah.
Why did they? I don't understand. Instead of them putting this on a Monday and a Tuesday or a Wednesday or Thursday, they decided to make it a Friday and a Saturday.
Yes.
And now they have covered this crap up for 2.5 years, ESPN, ABC. And you're talking about all those University of Michigan. You think they made that date on Friday and Saturday so the press really ain't going to be able to get a hold of it till maybe Monday or what?
I don't know if it was that or whether the NCAA set that date because, as a caller mentioned to me earlier, and I didn't put it together, June 6th is D-Day.
Right.
Is that the NCAA sending an ominous message to Michigan? We're about to storm your beaches, I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out. But here's the deal. Can you look it up? Somebody has told me, I think 2 or 3 people have told me, that once they have these 2 days of meetings,
yes,
they'll probably go, 4, 8 hours on each day or what?
Most likely, yeah. Yeah, probably anywhere.
So,
I'd imagine it's going to be anywhere from 6 to 8 hours each day.
okay, the NCAA is probably going to string it out because they don't, it'll be a final ruling. Do they have 30 days to give them Michigan the penalties, or 45 days?
It can range anywhere. I think they could go even longer than that if they wanted to, but there's expected to be something come out within 30 to 45 days after the hearings. Could it come out earlier? Yes. Could it come out later? Possibly. But I really feel like this is, um, to me, I think this is something where they want to get this wrapped up before the season. I would not be surprised to see them try to do it within 30 days. The reason being, if you do it within 30 days, you still give some of these guys an opportunity to transfer if they would want to transfer. Even though the portal's technically closed, they can reopen the window, given the circumstance, specifically for those players if they want to transfer out following the consequences, should the consequences be severe.
Here's the deal. I'm wondering. Since all these guys were those liars and cheaters, and we know they all were, Jim Harbaugh, the president of the university that went to Florida, and you got Warren Manuel, how he got a job because they won a national title. They put him on the NCAA thing, give Ohio State the toughest schedule ever, and it didn't do any good for them because we went right through everybody. But I would put all them guys on the stand and tell them under oath, and if they lie, maybe we can get them for perjury.
And see, that's exactly why Michigan, in my opinion, is not going to take this to court. Is because should they take this to court, everything's going to come out during discovery. Everything. Every little violation, every little rule broken, everyone's name who's involved with this is all going to come out under oath in court. And that's why
I think after these two days of hearings that we're going to be able to find out anything by Monday at least, what came out of that, or
we're going to have to wait for
confidential.
We're going to have to wait for one of the two sides to leak it. It's going to have to be leaked out. We're not going to find out anything right away. Because once the case is,
so you think we're going to have to wait another 30 to 45 days?
Yeah, like I said, it could be quicker, but I think once the case is laid, you'll probably see Michigan try to make one last ditch effort to maybe settle this thing. And I'll tell you, Bobby Mack mentioned it. He agreed with most of what I had. As far as punishment goes, but he felt they would get to keep the national title. And the reason he felt they would get to keep it is he feels that they will negotiate their way into it that way. That maybe they'll agree to the sanctions as far as the show causes, the vacated wins, and the bowl ban. If they get
how big a bowl ban
title.
do you think they're going to give them, though? How big a bowl ban do you think they're going to give them? They ought to at least give them 2 to 3 years.
Well, and I think that's what it is. I think Michigan is probably going to pitch 1. I think you'd probably see the NCAA pitch 5, and you may see them settle on 3.
Yeah.
I think that's
going to be. They need to put a hurt on them because, I remember Harbaugh when he won that first one, and I thought, how can they dominate us like this? I can't believe they're doing this. And Harbaugh was walking around like a zombie on the field. Nobody was even congratulating him because he was 0 for 5 and he got his salary cut in half. And he looked like, man, I just won this thing, but I had to cheat to win it. That's the way he acted. The way he was walking around like a zombie.
Yeah, he
you remember
knows.
That? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. And he knows what a hollow win it was. But if you also remember back to the beginning of the year, that year that they won for the first time under Harbaugh, it was almost like foreshadowed by Harbaugh, where he said, we're going to do whatever it takes to win or we're going to die trying. I think he knew what it was going to take to win. And I think that he very much kept his word in this instance of they were going to do whatever it took or they were going to die trying. Well, here's the thing, Harbaugh. You may have won, but I think that you may have killed the program in doing so. Because I really feel like the sanctions they're going to roll out are going to be very brutal. And the kind of sanctions that, like I said, I think can set a program back for 2 decades.
Well, they dominated us in the second half. Every one of these games we lost 0-4. Even this last one, we lost 13-10 because we wouldn't play wide open, and we couldn't score a stinking point. They only got a field goal to beat us, 13-10 at halftime.
You know, we had trouble kicking field goals that day. We had, Will Howard out there. It's been speculated he was playing with concussion. Whether he was or was not, I don't know. He certainly did not look like himself out there on the field. So maybe there's something to that. And I've gone on record of saying this before, Ray, and because I don't want to rehash the 13-10 loss. But at the same time, I'm going to say it wasn't the loss we wanted. I think it was definitely the loss we needed because it was the catalyst that drove them to the national title.
You're going to have to remember something, though. I was an usher there for 20 years. You go up there to Ann Arbor, it's 100,000 people against you. So it's unless they give these guys these sanctions, they did. I don't know how they did it, but they had all them starters out, 12 players, and they dominated Alabama with their second and third string defensive tackles. I don't know if all these guys are coming back or not, but unless they transfer out, you could be in for a dogfight again this year.
I don't think that you're going to see. First of all, I don't think their defense is nearly as good as what it was. I don't think, and I'm going to say it as well. I think last year Alabama was actually a very mid-level team. I don't think Alabama was a good team. I think the SEC is experiencing some pains right now from the NIL because where in the past the SEC owned the recruiting game because of their little brown bag distributions. Now that everybody can legally pay their players, they've lost that edge. They don't stack the best players in the country 2 and 3 deep at every position now. So I really feel
Milrose, he had one good run against them in the Rose Bowl, and one good run against them in this last game. But I don't understand how the NFL could put Milrose. He can't throw the ball, and he's a good runner, but Michigan just shut him right down. I don't know how their defensive backs are always. It seems like there's always 13 or 14 players on the field instead of 11, and I'm thinking that they know all your plays. That's the only thing I can think of how they did that.
Well, that's definitely feasible. It wouldn't be the first time, but.
You think their defensive backs are that good though? They shut that guy down, and he had like 4.3 speed. He could only get one good run on him 2 years in a row.
I think they schemed it well. I don't think that, like you, I don't think Milroe is a great quarterback. I do think that the kid down there is a tremendous receiver. They compare him back and forth to J.J. Smith all the time. I don't think that's a fair comparison. I think Smith is just head and shoulders above anybody else in the country when it comes to wide receiver. There's no one else even close. But
one thing we got to remember though, I love that receiver you got there, JR.
Yeah.
But he got shut down like 4 games in the second half, only 1 catch or none. We've got to find a way to get the ball to him more because he's too dangerous. for us to let a whole half go without getting the ball to him more than they
Well,
do.
here's the thing. If we are in control of the game, I have no problem using him as a decoy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to draw a lot of attention. They are going to double team Jeremiah Smith whenever it's possible, because there is not a cornerback in this country who can cover him one-on-one. No one. So if he's pulling a second guy, then somebody is running free. That's when it becomes, the quarterback's job to find out just who that is and make sure you take advantage of it.
But what's something I want to watch this year too? The NFL. We got all our Ohio State kids going in there. Well, I love them.
We got a lot.
They love Jesus. But then Michigan had a whole bunch of guys left. I want to see if just how good are they when the cheating ain't going on.
And that's been the question for the last couple of years, because you look at the championship class. I believe they had, if I get my numbers right, I believe they had 15 drafted after they won the national championship. After they won the national championship, of those 15, I'm wanting to say I think only 4 were left in the league on teams right now. And of those 4, you've got Zach Zentner, who I don't know if he'll still be a member of the Browns by the time training camp breaks, because he just has not been good. And J.J. McCarthy, who was overdrafted as a quarterback, who immediately suffered an injury. And now he's going to be out there this year starting for the first time by himself. He's not going to have a safety net because Sam Darnold is no longer there. He's out in Seattle, I believe it is. I think you're going to see just how bad J.J. McCarthy was. Shouldn't say bad. Just how absolutely mid J.J. McCarthy is when you see him on the field as, for essentially a rookie in the NFL this year. Because I don't see, he does not have NFL star written all over him. He just doesn't. And for them to move up to take him, I can't
figure out how their offensive line was so good the last 3-4 years. Is it because they were cheating or what?
Well, that's part of it, but they this I will not take away from them. They got some very good, very physical offensive linemen, and they coached them very well. And you can say the same thing about the defensive linemen. And very good. And, let's just say, for instance, they did have Ohio State's playbook, which we know they did.
Yeah. Right.
It'll
be interesting.
You could have.
We only got a week and a half to go.
Yeah, we only got a little while to wait for D-Day. So
I'm gonna let you go, buddy.
All right,
have a
Ray.
Good night. God bless you.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Io, go Bucks. That was the man, the myth, the legend. That was our buddy Ray. So, hey, guys, it was a great night of calling shows. We've gone almost 2.5 hours tonight. We've still got almost 100 people watching. We got 98 people. So, again, I'm going to ask, make sure that if you're on Facebook, make sure you're sharing this show with a friend. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're liking, subscribing, hitting that little bell so you know when we drop new content. Make sure you're sharing us with a friend. Hey, if you like what we do, consider joining the Pod Squad as a full-time member. $3.99 a month. Lots of just absolutely great benefits, including the free t-shirt after a month of membership, the free access to our online Big Ten magazine for the preview, free shipping from our OSU podcast store, and free behind the paywall content, including our official ranking of Ohio State Buckeye football recruits that you're not going to find anywhere but right here on the OHIO podcast. And guys, if you're on the X, please make sure on the X you are liking us. Make sure you are sharing us. And guys, please make sure you are going on and following the OHIO pod on X, because the more you like us, the more you share us, the more we're going to get out there, and we're going to bring our content out to other great Buckeye fans out there in Buckeye Nation. So I want to thank all my callers tonight. Thank my co-host Eric, who dropped in for a quick one, Sean, TG, B Moses, Ray, Dan, Jeff, and I know I'm probably forgetting somebody who called in, and I just don't remember everybody. Tyler. We had about 10 really good calls tonight, and hopefully we can continue that next week, maybe this week on Eric's show on Thursday night as well. Guys, don't forget the Buckeye Lounge coming up tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, right here on the OHIO Podcast Network. That, of course, Sean, TG, and they have their special guest, Alex Martin, who's going to be on there tomorrow night. We have Thursday night's call-in show with Eric, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern. He'll come in, he'll field your calls. And then, of course, Sunday night, we've got our roundtable show. Looking forward to that. Please make sure that you are on board and in the chat with each of those upcoming shows. Watch for content we drop throughout the week as well. Once again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, go Bucks.